he is. And so, I mean, you go from and I'm going to say toxic situation, like back in December after the Louisiana Tech game and the FIU game, that the University of Miami was a toxic situation. Like that was just a depressing and negative. You go to a place like New England where all they know is winning. They know discipline. I mean, like year after year, you are going to be competing and you are going to be around players that frankly give a shit. I mean, no offense to the Canes. We love the Canes, but it's the complete opposite, situation like the University of Miami. And I think he can emerge as a punt return guy. I think he could go in the slot, but I'm a big I'm going with JT4, man.
Okay.
It's not a bad pick, bro. It's not a bad pick.
So for my answer on that, like I said, I can't really speak to his character. I will say though, like one thing that would have me going against that idea, well, two things. One, there was a lot of chatter about him before he even enrolled in Miami, about some character concerns and stuff that was going on, when he was going to high school in St. Louis. There was some worry about that, and I wasn't an expert on the issue, but I know it was there. And then also, like, I kind of feel like his draft stock was at an all-time high when he got kicked off the team. I mean, we had just played that Virginia Tech game. He had that incredible punt return for a touchdown. I mean, I know I personally was shooting out, text messages and highlight reels of Jeff Thomas, all my friends left and right. I was like, we got our next Devin Hester, first round pick, and 3 days later he's kicked off the team. So I don't know. I can't speak to him, like on a personal level. But I actually felt like things were going the best that they had in his career when he got kicked off the team. So I don't know.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. It just sucks because, I mean, they didn't utilize him either. They didn't get him the ball. Like Dan Eno said he was going to get the ball 10 to 15 times a game. He was lucky.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. That right there.
Like,
We've done that every year and didn't come through. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about a running back. You handed the ball. We're talking about a receiver who's burning this man by 10, 15 yards.
Yeah.
And the quarterback can't get him the ball. And then the other opportunities that we promised him, whether it be reverse screen, whatever, we didn't do what we said we were going to do. So I think that as a receiver specifically, like you talk about somebody like Randy Moss, you get Randy Moss and don't give him the ball, you're not going to get a good result. You know what I mean? But that's just how I took it because of the position and everything.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see where you're coming from there. And, if someone with inside info told me that's exactly what happened, I wouldn't be surprised. So
yeah, I do agree with the stuff about him before he got here, though. Like, I am aware of all that. Don't get me wrong.
And it also just goes to show you that it wasn't all his fault, man. Like, Miami, like, they didn't – I don't know. I feel like they just didn't do enough for him. I wasn't in the Heck Center, and, I wasn't there, but I just feel like it just wasn't a good fit, and he wasn't a fit for the Hurricanes, and the coaches and him obviously had something going on, but whatever. That's a depressing subject. Jay, I want to ask you this. Hey, so 2020, it is a make or break year for the Canes and for Manny Diaz. First question, how are you feeling about Manny Diaz after last year and also this offseason?
My personal opinion, I am not worried about Manny one bit. I never have been. I know what he signed up for, and I don't think that the fans really understood what he signed up for. Now, I don't talk to a lot of players. I ain't no insider or anything. I do have that little group chat where I talk to a few players every now and then, and I mean, it's pretty evident that it was a lot more player issues than people wanted to admit. So with the way that the team is built right now, I think that since 2010, maybe, I can't remember when it was, but the last time we've had a good offensive coordinator who can run a system that fits us with a good defensive coordinator at the same time that fits us. We haven't had that. That's all we've been missing. Every year it's been one side of the ball balling and one side that's just completely lost. You know what I'm saying? And for the first time, I don't feel like we'll have that. Lastly, first year could be an issue, you know what I'm saying? Just the getting used to everything, but outside of that, I have zero concerns. I also believe that even last year, with all the problems we've had, I'll say last 3 years, with all the problems we've had, the quarterback problems, every game that our quarterback showed up, we looked like a good team. So now we have a quarterback that we're expecting to show up every week, so I'm not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? That's just my perception. whether it was Williams, Cozy, or Rozier. It didn't matter. Whoever the quarterback was, when they showed up, the team showed up. So I'm confident that King is going to be the difference just in consistency.
Okay. Now I got a good one. Okay, 2021. Who is our starting quarterback? And I know what you're going to say. Who's our starting quarterback?
So we talking Bama.
We're talking Bama. Doesn't matter if we're talking Bama or FAMU.
I think it does.
Say it.
I'm gonna say Cozy, man.
No.
Look, the only reason I'm saying that, I think that he hasn't had necessarily a good example yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that having a peer who can lead you is different from having a coach who can teach you. I think that's two completely different things. I don't think he's had somebody around him to show him the ropes. He's been told the ropes over and over. Mark Rich is good at teaching people, but he usually has an older guy who can show the next guy something. You know what I mean? And I don't feel like Cozy's had that. And I think that this year he has the opportunity to learn from somebody who's seen it, who gets it, who has the experience, who knows what it takes in the film room, who knows what it takes as the extra work in the quarterback room. Like, he hasn't had that example yet. So I think going into his senior season, I think that's his senior or junior, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I think that experience, the whole 2020 season, just being around King enough will make a different Cozy that we've seen. And then you're adding Lashley's offense to that. So I think he's going to get a shot to make his career worth it.
I totally agree with you. You know I'm part of the Cozy hive. I've kind of accepted that Tate Martell is not the guy. And I've always been a fan of Cozy, man. Like, I was there when he came back against Florida State. I was at this past Virginia Tech game where he threw for 400 yards. Like, Cozy has the talent. And I just had to ask because I know you and Cam are presidents.
I wouldn't say I'm in that one, man. I'm not like I don't like standing for anybody. Whoever it is. I don't like being the stand and saying no matter what I'm gonna ride with this dude. I've seen enough in Cozy just in our quarterback room to give me confidence. And that's why I said what I said about Cozy. But if somebody's better than Cozy, I'm handing it to him. Like, I'm not set on no guy. I thought that was gonna be Williams at the beginning of the year because when I went to the spring game, his first spring game, I saw his accuracy. I didn't know what his vision was like. I didn't know what his pocket presence was like. I didn't know about none of that, but I saw the accuracy. So I wanted to see the accuracy in action. I did, and saw that was all that was really there. So that's when I was saying it was time to move on. But with Cozy, I have seen enough personally to say in a better system, with more consistency around him, a little more time in the pocket, I think he can succeed here.
Love it. I'm not against that, but I would, my confidence would be a little bit shaken if he was announced as the starter. I just, you could be right because he's built for a spread system, right? So Lashley might be like the key to unlocking his potential, and that's fine. I'll support whoever's named the starter. I'm not gonna like cry about it or whatever, but I just until Cozy proves me wrong, I kind of feel like we've seen his best days, and I would really love for Tyler Van Dyke to steal that job away and like be a clear-cut starter come game day for Bama.
I wouldn't be mad at that, bro.
That's probably what would make me the most confident going into that Bama game is if like we get a Tyler Van Dyke is the starter announcement in like April. Like after the spring games, we're like, oh, we're pretty confident. Like Tyler Van Dyke is our dude. He's going to be running with the number ones heading into, fall camp and all of the Bama prep. That's what would make me the happiest, honestly.
Bro, I just don't get how, go back to 2018. Cozy balls out against FIU, then he comes back again, or balls out against UNC, comes back against FSU. Then he, collapses against Virginia. Rozier comes back in. And then this past year, he plays well against Virginia Tech, almost brings us back. He beats Virginia, and then we go to Pittsburgh. Jay, I remember your tweets during that game. Why hasn't he been able to just be consistent? I don't get it because when you there are times when Cozy makes throws, you're like, damn, this guy can be our guy. This is the guy we've been waiting for. And then when he played against Pitt, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen by a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at the system, bro. You can't when it comes to college, you can't take the system out of the equation. Now, if we just added King this year, we still got Enos, we still got the same everything else. I'm nowhere near as confident, even with King, with all that King's proved. You know what I'm saying? But I think that the system makes a difference when you're talking about a certain player with a certain style. You know what I mean? Like, you could plug certain guys in who fit in better places. I see that in the NBA a lot. Where a guy isn't as productive, he goes to another team that has a better system that fits him, and all of a sudden he's averaging, you know what I'm saying, 15, 20. You know what I mean? So I think that system is the biggest difference from where we were to where we are now. I don't think that somebody, like if we had got Hurts last year, we talked about that in the offseason. It was a chance of it. If we get Hurts in that same system, is Hurts going to win 10, 12 games? I don't think so. I think the system was that bad. With that fit, and then you still got the same players around them. You know what I'm saying? Like, the situation still got to work in order for the wins. So if we talking about Cozy in the future, I'm looking at more than just Cozy. I'm looking at the stuff around him.
Yeah, and I definitely see what you're saying there. My issue with Cozy is more like what Marsh was talking about. You know, how he'll play good and then he plays like crap, and then he plays good and then like crap. To me, that's a confidence issue, and I could be wrong. That's just the diagnosis I'm going to give it. I think, the quarterback position relies so much on confidence and like the mental side of the game that not everyone can do it. And that's kind of why I don't really want to see Cozy as the starter. It's just I feel like if his issues have been confidence driven, which is again what I'm thinking, I don't think Rhett Lashley is going to fix that. I think his system could make him more efficient. It could make him better. But I mean, if it's a confidence thing, then he's still going to have games where he unravels. And, I don't really want to have another season where, we beat some good teams and then unravel against 4 teams that we should have beat. I mean, that's classic Kane stuff, at least in my lifetime.
Well, do you think that his confidence is the issue because of what you've seen as the result, or you've actually looked at Kazi and said, I don't see confidence? Because I've always felt like that I have seen the confidence.
So it's more the result. I mean, because I don't know a ton about him as a person. I do have to say that his off the field issues as a freshman have affected that. I worry about his focus and where his head is. I do want to give him some credit because I know he kind of became like the leader in the locker room in terms of the quarterback room this season.
Mm-hmm. He has come a long way from where he was a few years ago.
Yeah, so I want to give him all the credit in the world for doing that, going from all this controversy as a freshman and then, kind of becoming like the leader in the QB room. So props to Cozy there. Like if he keeps that kind of stuff up, then I think he could have some cool stuff ahead of him. But overall, like the overall body of work just doesn't make me feel like he has the makeup of an extremely successful QB. At least like the mental emotional makeup, if that makes sense.
I got you.
But I hope I'm wrong. If he balls out with Rhett Lashley, I'm all about it. I'm rooting for Cozy because, like I said, I love a good turnaround story. I love the fact that he changed stuff up and became a leader. So if he turns that into being a starter and winning 10 games for us, like, I'll be hyped.
Agreed.
So, let's see. I'm out of questions, Marsh. Do you have anything left?
I'm just waiting for you guys to start arguing.
I can't.
But I don't think nobody want to sit through another hour of this. We did most of it last night. I get repetitive after a while.
Yeah, I did.
I don't want y'all to see that.
I'm ready for fireworks on Twitter tonight.
Hey, look, man, we did them all last night at 5 a.m, bro. You gotta wait at least 2 days.
Yeah, let's have you back on in like 2 weeks after the the next MJ episode or whenever, week and a half or whatever. When that comes back on, then maybe I'll be rejuvenated, ready to argue. But yeah, dude, I've been blowing up all day. What was that?
I said let's get you on again soon, okay?
I'll make time, bro. I'll make time. This quarantine gave me more time. I really should have been on already. I just want to think about it.
All right, brother. Hey.
But I got y'all for sure, man. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.